hello, hello, hello. This is Marshall Goldsmith. Very happy to be talking to you on LinkedIn Live. A wonderful, wonderful opportunity to talk to some fascinating people from different countries, different environments, and what they're dealing with right now in terms of our crisis. I'll briefly introduce myself, and then we will begin. As I said, my name is Marshall. I'm from a small town called Valley Station, Kentucky. I went to school in Indiana. I got a PhD at the UCLA Anderson School. I was a college professor and dean when I was young. And then for about 43 years, I've predominantly done three things. I give talks or teach classes, and I travel all around the world speaking and teaching. Got ranked #1 leadership thinker. Number two, I coach executives. So I've been the coach of some of the top leaders in the world, CEO of the Year in the United States, and president of the World Bank, and head of the New York Public Library, Mayo Clinic, and on and on and on. And what I love about coaching these wonderful people is I've learned so much. Although I'm supposed to teach them, I learn far more than I teach. Then I write books and articles, and I've written or edited 41 books, and 3 big New York Times bestsellers. So life is good. Anything else? I went to a program called Design the Life You Love. And the woman in the program said, "Who are your heroes?" And my heroes are very kind and generous people who are great teachers. And she said, "Well, why don't you be more like them?" I said, "Well, that's a good idea." I decided to adopt 15 people, teach them all I know for free. And then the only price is when they get old, they have to do the same thing. Well, that led to a movement called 100 Coaches. And now we have about 250 people in the 100 Coaches. And these include 15 of the top business thinkers in the world, all of the top coaches in the world, really just a wonderful group of CEOs, entrepreneurs, head of the Rockefeller Foundation, Junior Achievement, basketball player, Pau Gasol, just wonderful, wonderful people. And we're just trying to help each other and help everybody have a little bit better life. And so as I've grown older, my mission is just try to help people have a little bit better life. I've been very blessed. I'm retired from my main career, and now I'm just trying to give back. Try to give back as best I can and help others. And hopefully these calls will help some of the people who are listening here. And all my materials are online, marshallgoldsmith.com. Just go there. You can copy, share, download, duplicate. Use any of my stuff any way you want. If it's useful to any of you, please use it. Now today, we have a couple of wonderful, wonderful guests today. We have Gabriela and Tim Teasdale, just great people. And Gaby is one of our 100 coaches. I'll start by introducing her and then introduce Tim. Gaby is one of the top 8 coaches in the world. She is a very, very amazing woman. Thinkers 50, she's one of the top 30 future leadership of the future thinkers. So a great thinker. She's a great coach, done wonderful social entrepreneurship work. And husband Tim Teasdale. Tim is an entrepreneur. He started his own business with Gaby called Pro Leadership. They're transforming people. They're working in Paraguay. And they've also got another organization, Transformation Paraguay. And this is about what they're doing to really impact literally hundreds of thousands of young people around their country. They've just done such a fantastic job of making a big difference. So Tim and Gaby, very honored to have you be here today. Very happy to be speaking to you. And so we're going to go through how things are going for you and some of your reflections, observations, and any ideas that you may have to help our viewers. Before we get started though, Gaby and Tim, are you business partners or no?
Yes.
Are you married? Yes or no?
Yeah. For now.
Still not. Yeah.
Still.
And do you have 2 kids?
Yes.
2 wonderful
So
kids.
here's the big challenge. They're business partners. They're married. They have 2 kids, and they're living together 24 hours a day. So before we get into all this business stuff, Gaby and Tim, how's it going?
Oh, it's going great, Marshall. When you marry such a beautiful woman like this, I think life is good. So I cannot complain too much. Not sure what Gaby thinks, but what I think.
So what are the challenges?
It's a lot of fun. Is looking at each other 24 hours, making decisions for our business, making decisions for our kids, even deciding what we need to eat today. It's like a lot of stuff that we're not doing it together like this. Normal is normal. It's not normal anymore for us.
Exactly.
So that's a big challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big challenge. Who's doing all the chores around the house now?
I mainly me. No, we share with the kids. We've made a whole list in a calendar and made sure that everyone's sharing their responsibilities. So we're doing pretty good on that end.
Yeah, I think we make sure that each of us have a goal every single day, and we have a schedule.
Yeah.
Like we can see our activities.
Yeah.
For each one, and that's helping us a lot.
Yeah.
Very good. Now, you have an interesting term you use. It's called giant, and how to deal with your giant. Now, that term can mean very different things to different people. So I'd like you to share with our listeners, what does that term giant mean to you?
Well, a giant really, Marshall, I think is any situation, any problem, even our emotions, our thoughts, our fear, that when we face them, when we tackle those giants and we overcome those giants, they really help us to become better people. And globally right now, we're facing a giant. And I believe that now's the time that we need to really, confront our giants. I think a big giant that a lot of people are experiencing right now is our own mind, our thoughts, and we need to really learn how to overcome that. And your material has helped us a lot, and just being friends with you helps us a lot, and all the 100 coaches as well.
Marshall, and I would like to invite people to tell us what are those giants for them right now. They can write to us. They can share with us. This is a great moment to invite them to let us know what are those giants in their lives.
Well, this is very good. And what I'd like you two to do is talk about some of the giants that you have faced. And then, by the way, our listeners, any questions that you have for Gaby, Tim, or me, just put in the chat box. And also, to build on what Gaby just said, as they discuss giants, think about what they mean by this term. And then what are some of the giants you have faced? So Gaby, getting started, what are some of the giants that you and Tim have faced?
Last year I think was a hard year for us, and one of my giants was knowing that my daughter had a brain tumor. We were coming from our event, Thinkers 50, from London last year, and that morning that we were arriving, they were giving me the news, and that was a giant because of fear to control of my life at that moment. So I needed to defeat that fear, to open my eyes and start seeing the opportunities and the strategies, and I was asking myself, what's next? What should I be doing? What I should be thinking, and what should be my actions about the situation. So that's a giant. That was a giant in my life just now, three months ago.
Yeah.
And also starting our business. Right now, Marshall, one of our giants is how are we gonna keep our business? And I'm sure that a lot of people are thinking about the same thing, or are going through the same experience.
And just to mention with our daughter, Angie, with her situation, we are eternally grateful to you, Marshall, and to the entire MG100 and to Sanyin, who you guys helped us so much, connect us with some of the greatest doctors in the world. And thank God that our daughter had a successful surgery and she's doing great today. So and I think that's one thing that just when you have that giant, having that support group, those people around you helps you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And Gaby, you are a member of our 100 Coach organization. And along with obviously what happened with your daughter, which is a huge deal, I think it's just very important in today's hard times to have a group of people to support you. It can be very lonely, isolation in more ways than one. So, Gaby, what are some of your reactions to, other than just your daughter, what are some of your reactions to being in our community of the 100 coaches and people trying to help each other?
Marshall, and right now, I think that more than ever, I'm thinking that we need to deepen our relationships. And the community that we have with the MG100 is amazing. And to be able to help each other and to be able to have someone that is showing you how to defeat that giant and how to even see better when you can't even see the way, that's so valuable. And we need to, I'm thankful for being part of that group. And Timothy, he knows the group. He were able to join us in few meetings, and that support is very important. And I think we always need to be thinking about the people, the good people that we have around us that can help us to add value to our lives, and also how we add value to others, right? What we give to others. You are so good with that, Marshall. You give all the time. And that's something that we need to start practicing a lot right now, because we're trying to defeat a giant. We're struggling. Things are not easy. So who are the people around you? Who's your community? What are you doing to add value? And how are adding value to your life too? So that support is key, Marshall.
One of my good friends told me something I never forgot. He said, it's very easy to be nice to people when things are going well, and to be everybody's friend when they're making lots of money and things are good. There's an old song, money, you got a lot of friends hanging around your door, and when it's gone and spending ends, they don't come around no more. Well, what people remember is not the nice things you did when things are good. When things are good, everyone is kissing your butt and acting like you're wonderful. What they remember is sometimes how you help them when things aren't so good, when times are tough. So I think it's really good for all of us to remember during these hard times that this is really the time to help each other as best we can. And, first thing is Justin. Justin is with Methods, a wonderful organization that's putting on all these programs. They do a great job, online learning. Justin, have anybody mentioned any of their own giants or challenges that they face out there?
Yes, Marshall, they certainly have. Some interesting questions here. Stephen Janssens writes in and says, how do you deal with the giant of feeling worthless when failing, or when your efforts don't get the results that you're after?
Wow. That's a great question. So Gaby and Tim, you go first, and then I'm going to try.
I think, Marshall, failure is a very good sign of effort. So when you fail, it's people who do nothing, they don't fail. So failure is a good sign that you're doing something, that you're having, that you're trying to defeat that giant. We give up and we feel really bad when we cannot defeat that giant. But if we press on and we really know that we're people of value and we continue to grow and build ourselves, we will eventually defeat that giant. The thing I know about giants is that giants always lose. You never hear a story about where a giant won, unless it's the football team, the Giants. I don't even think they win a lot. So the Giants always lose. So if we just keep on, the giant will eventually lose and we'll come out victorious.
That's good. You know, I have one suggestion myself on this one, and that is, I talked about this previously. I study Eastern philosophy a lot, and Hindu philosophy is a great parable called the Gita, and it talks about life, and it says, in essence, it says, really don't become attached to the end results of what happened. Because when you become attached to the end results of what happened, you just mess up your brain. So for example, I think Stephen is your name, a great question. Look, sometimes you do lose. That doesn't mean you are a loser. Hey, I've lost many times in life. I've said and done many stupid things in my life. That doesn't mean I'm stupid. I've just said and done lots of stupid things. Well, just because you lost on this one doesn't mean you're a loser. Here's an important point that comes out from basic Hindu philosophy. First, what is. And Bill Carrier, a friend of ours, had a good quote, pragmatic optimism. You have to be a pragmatist. You have to face reality. You can't make what's tough happy talk. It's not going to go away because we all just think good and happy thoughts. You got to face the pragmatic reality that exists. It is hard. Yes, you have lost. You haven't kind of lost or sort of lost. You lost. You didn't win. This sucks. It happens. Basic essence of the Gita, Hindu philosophy, is this. In the parable, a person has two choices, bad and worse. And Krishna basically says, look, it is what it is. You make peace. All you can do is do your best. The golfing analogy, you play the shot that's in front of you. You don't worry about the bad shot you made in the past. You don't worry about winning the tournament. Hit the shot. All I can say for you is, number one, don't put yourself in a box. Don't say, I'm a loser. That doesn't help anything. Number two, what is. Don't kid yourself. The hard reality is the hard reality. No amount of happy thought is going to make it go away. Look at what's in front of you and say, what is the best I can possibly do now? And one of our good friends, Gaby, you've met him several times, Harry Kramer, had a good saying, am I doing the right thing? And am I doing my best? If the answer is yes, I'm doing what I think is right. Yes, I'm doing my best. That's all any human being can do. That's all you can do. And sometimes it's, it happens. Life isn't fair. It's not always rational. It happens. Now, Justin, that was a good one. Any other giants people are facing or questions?
Certainly, yeah, that's deep, Marshall. What is, and some things we can't control. I think Kieran Miles wrote in, it might relate to this. In fact,
wait, stop. Justin, stop. I'm going to ask you a question. No, Justin, in your business, I mean, the good news, you're in a technology business, which could be a lot worse, but still in your business, training and development, it's got to, you guys get hit like everybody else. What are some of the ways you're facing the giant challenges in your business?
Great question, Marshall. We had to pivot. So yeah, we face huge challenges. A big part of our training program is to the enterprise and large businesses and small businesses too. And when people are facing a crisis like they are now, one of the first things that gets cut is their education, their learning and development budget. If you lose people and you're trying to figure out how to pay people, that's one of the last things they do. So what we've done to meet the crisis is pivot in the way of getting good information out to people, doing shows like these for free, because we know that people don't have money right now, but they still need information, they still need value, they still need help. And so our aim is to deliver that and make it accessible right now in this time. And our goal with that is to get the right information out there. And I think over time we'll build a great name for ourselves and work with some great people and learn some things and build ourselves to be stronger when we come out of this.
That's great.
Thank you. Gaby and Tim, before we get to Justin's next good question, how are you working in this crisis specifically? What are some of the changes you're making now in your world, both, by the way, on the business side and also on the social transformation side?
Yeah, Marshall, a crisis is a wake-up call. And in 4 weeks, we changed everything.
Yeah.
We needed to be very intentional with our thoughts and our actions. and make quick decisions.
Mm-hmm.
And our business was most of our trainings with our company and also with the social program were all presential classes with people there. So now we are doing everything virtual. We're going online.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a risk. That was our only option. That's our only option right now.
Yeah.
So we are changing things. It's just not easy. We have a very good number of people working for us that we need to take care of, and it's like for us, it's every day. What I said just before, Marshall, normal is not normal anymore. So every day we need to be creative. Every day we need to have new strategies, and it's not easy because we don't know what's going to happen.
To give some context, Marshall, we work with the school system in Paraguay. The dropout rate in Paraguay in the public school system is 60%. So 60% of the kids don't finish school. And right now, those kids are not in school. So, and a lot of them, since it's a poorer country, they don't have access to technology or a network. But most people do have access to WhatsApp. So we send a lot of our material on WhatsApp through messages, lessons. So we keep them even like with what we're facing right now.
That's a wonderful example. Now, Justin. Now, Justin, my apologies. I couldn't hear you for a second there.
That's all right. That's like Justin was saying. We had to pivot. We had to move, and so that's what we're doing. Yeah.
Now, Justin, my apologies to you. I interrupted you before when you were asking a question. What is the second giant or question you would like to bring up?
Well, this one comes from Kieran Miles, and she says specifically, well, what do you do when a giant keeps coming back for another round again and again and again? Is there a specific way you can handle one of those where it just doesn't seem to go away, or it might be out of?
Okay, go ahead. Gaby and Tim, you go first.
Yeah, I think there's that saying that says that the definition of insanity is when we keep doing the same thing and we are expecting different results. Yeah. So I think when giants come back to bite us all the time, it needs to be a wake-up call, and we need to change, which is a hard thing.
Yeah, we need to ask ourselves what's something that we should be doing differently, and also work with some values like patience.
Yeah.
Innovation. Right? We need to be able to innovate, see other ways, new ways, and it's tried until.
And something that we also learned from you, Marshall, is let's try and focus on the process as well. You know, try and focus on the process, not the end result.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. And then my suggestion to be very different on this one, and that is for many people on this crisis, this is going to be very hard to hear. Sometimes you lose. Sometimes you lose. Sometimes the business doesn't come back. During good times, 80% of small businesses go under in 5 years. These are not good times. Sometimes you're going to have to close the door, start over, and reinvent the business. It doesn't mean you're a loser. That's a good question we got earlier. It doesn't mean you're a bad person. Things happen. Life isn't fair. A lot of life is the environment. The environment is incredibly tough. The reality of small business, most people lose. They don't win anyway. It's a risk. That's why they call it a risk. And sometimes you have to face the hard reality of if that you keep banging your head against the wall, sometimes you got to say, this isn't going to work. This isn't going to work. And we've got to reinvent this. I've got to close this show up and start a new one. And I've got to start over. And it's not easy. You have to do it. One person in one of our calls was Mo Casti. He lives through the war in Lebanon. And in a way, he said it's easier for him. He's seen people die. He's seen people lose everything. And he's seen people have to start over on multiple occasions. And he said, this is part of, you learn to adjust. And as humans, we're pretty good at adjusting. I think we got time for maybe one or two more questions. So Justin, what's the next one?
Marshall, it's interesting, as you say, in tough times like these, and there are some brutal truths that we all have to face right now.
Right.
This question comes from another Kiran Kashikar, and says, how do you measure success, especially in a time like this? What kind of frameworks or criteria can you look at and say, I am succeeding when things are potentially as bleak for some people?
Sure. Okay, go ahead. Gaby and Tim, you do, and then I'll do it.
Okay. And the only thing I have to say to this is a good friend of ours from Canada, Mike Pauline, told me, he said, when you wake up in the morning, you just say, hey, we're one day closer. We're one day closer to coming out, one day closer to getting better. And that's also some great advice we received when we were facing the situation with our daughter and the brain tumor she had. One day at a time. One day at a time.
One day at a time. Yeah, I love that. One day at a time. In a way, on a crisis like this, you kind of have to look at it as one day at a time. Mother Teresa, someone asked her, how did you save 50,000 lives? She said, one at a time. Well, you got to take this one day at a time. As I said, you got to hit the shot that's in front of you. And again, how do you define success? It's a good question. There's something called Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the bottom needs are going to safety, security, health. Well, we tend to ignore those bottom needs during periods of economic prosperity. We deal with the higher order needs of esteem and self-actualization. And when times get harder, you realize first, the importance of relationships, the people you love. That's really very important. And success is, I do have someone I love. I have people that I love, people love me. Gaby, our good friend Alan Mullally, says the purpose of life is to love and be loved in that order. Purpose of life is to love and be loved in that order. And he says that over and over. So it's very deep thinking. Then also the hierarchy of needs, you need the security. And, security starts becoming very important when it goes away. It's easy to make fun of people who care about security until you don't have any. And you need to take care of the basics of life, your health. So during times that are tough, that definition of success can go in a different position on that Maslow's hierarchy. So that's a wonderful question. Existentially, you need happiness in life. You need to find meaning. You need to make peace with what is. And again, you need to find peace in where you are now, and ask yourself, am I doing what I think is right now? And am I doing my best now? And if the answer is yes, I'm doing what I think is right. And by the way, I'm wrong a lot of times. We'll all be wrong sometimes. Am I doing what I think is right? And finally, am I doing my best? And if the answer is yes and yes, look in the mirror, you can be proud of yourself. The greatest basketball coach in college history in the United States, his name was John Wooden. And John Wooden said, if you do your best and win, be proud. If you do your best and lose, be proud. If you don't do your best and you win, you have nothing to be proud of. Well, I thought that was a really great statement. And he won more college basketball tournaments and championships than anyone. He never focused on the outcome. He always just said, look, you show up, you do your best. It's all you can ever do as a human being. And if you do your best, you can look in that mirror, whether you, quote, win or lose the game, you can still be proud of yourself. And a lot of our questions today, Justin, and many of the questions I'm getting are focused on people that lose. And they don't lose because they're bad people or evil or stupid. They just lost because some very unforeseen things happened. And I think during these tough times, to look in that mirror and say, yeah, it is tough. I'm doing my best. I can hold my head high and be proud of what I'm trying to do. Finally, any final comments from Tim and Gaby?
I just think, Marshall, that we need to have compassion about ourselves first. We need to take care of ourselves, deepen our relationships, take care of our people. What you said, think of every day. I think about my purpose. I'm here for a reason, so that gives me energy. That keeps me going, and I embrace today. The only thing that we have for sure right now is today.
Yeah.
So embrace today, be thankful, and just send to the world love, compassion, and support. Things are not easy, but we are resilient. We can work hard, and we can just think. Remember what Jean d'Arc, John d'Arc said, "I was born for this."
Yeah, I'm not afraid I was born for this.
I'm not afraid I was born for this. So,
and
thank you so
just
much.
to give you a small example of a group in Paraguay that does that. They're the Recycled Orchestra. I'll show you the violin that they made from trash. These kids actually live off of a trash dump, and they take what's ugly, trash, and they made an orchestra, and they make beautiful music out of that trash. And you want to tell them this?
and what they said, Marshall, is the world sent us garbage. We send back music.
Yeah.
That's transformation. That's innovation.
Yeah.
What are we sending right now?
Thank you so much. My honor to be talking to both of you, Gaby and Tim. You're two people who have influenced hundreds of people in your country. Again, top-ranked coach in the world, leadership thinker in the world. So very, very honored to be speaking with you. So proud that you're part of our 100 coach group. So thank you very much. And to our viewers, thank you so much. I'm going to try to have more people from around the world, so we do get a nice international view of what's happening and how people from around the world are dealing with this. So thanks to our viewers. I hope this has been helpful to you. Goodbye.